Excuse me.
All right. Thank you for joining us here on Competing in Cornfields. We got Kody Oltman in the house. How does Nebraska look? Looks great as always.
It's gonna be cold as hell tomorrow.
Very cold, but all good though. Real quick, check out Jingmo Tong Athletic Association. They are your place in Lincoln, Nebraska for lion dance, kung fu, and all kinds of martial and performing arts. They're also a nonprofit ran by Ray Peterson. So if you are interested, please support them by checking out their Facebook and getting involved. We are also brought to you by 360 Fades Barbershop. They are a traditional barbershop specializing in men's haircuts and traditional straight razor shave. They are close to 48th and R in Lincoln. They're first come, first served, so no appointment needed. Go see them today. Lastly, we are brought to you by Wilkie Financial Group, LLC. As with most things in life, the key to achieving your long-term financial objectives is planning. They are a leader in insurance and financial services. Check out their website and request a quote today. All right. So I saw on Facebook the other day that I think Missouri is gonna
I think
start.
it might be Kansas.
Kansas?
Kansas.
Okay. Oh dang it! I pulled a Donald Trump.
It's all good.
Yeah. Or the reverse Donald Trump. Yeah.
What does it make Kansas?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. All right. So I think that Kansas is gonna start going with open scoring in their MMA for at least Invicta. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good idea. I mean, I don't know. I could see the benefits of it, especially. Did you watch the John Jones fight?
Yes.
I think it probably would have helped determine like what you're gonna do in the next round. I don't know, man. There's got to be something different. If open scoring makes it better, maybe it'll make it better. But there's got to be something fixed. I feel like I'm probably in the minority that I think John lost that fight pretty like cut and dry. But I don't know. Did you think John won the fight?
I definitely need to see it again, but man, for the most part, I was believing that Dominic Reyes was winning that fight, and if it looked like John Jones almost knew the open scoring because he started going for takedowns in rounds 4 and rounds 5, even though those may not have been legit like hold you down takedowns.
Yeah. I don't know. I think John definitely. Obviously, I think he won the 4th and 5th round. I don't think he won the 3rd round. I understand a lot of people saying like the person who's winning at the end of the fight should win the fight, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but that's like not how it's scored. Yeah. And the whole like control, they're like John was controlling the octagon, like I guess, I don't know. In the 3rd round, John definitely got hit more, and it seemed like he got hit with a lot more powerful strikes than he gave out, and I felt like he did takedowns in the 4th and 5th round to like try and get a finish going. But I don't know. I don't think he won the fight. Whatever, he won. Maybe open scoring would have helped that, but I think open scoring is good. At least it's a step in the right direction. It'd be nice to see how it works. Yeah. They just announced the score after the round's over? Is that what
Yeah, I believe so. They just like during their minute break or whatever, they'll just announce them. Maybe
it'll make judges pay attention to the fights better. Because, like, I don't know. That one judge scored at 49, 40, what?
4-1 for John Jones,
49, 46. Yeah, I don't know. That was insane. I don't know how many people are qualified to be judges, but it doesn't seem like they are even in the realm of, like, possibility. Because that was far from the only bad decision that was on that card.
For sure. And I agree that like maybe if Reyes knew that one judge thought that, or maybe I guess 2 judges thought that he did lose the 2nd round, that he would have turned it up way more if he could have. Like I don't know, he was super active. I think he might have been low on energy.
Yeah, he was definitely low on energy. I think he blew his wad out in the first like 3 rounds trying to finish the fight, which I mean that seems to be the only way you can really take it to John. You can't really take it slow with him, I guess. I don't. Maybe somebody can, but. I don't know. It was kind of deflating to see that happen just because I felt like he decisively won 3 rounds and like 3-2. That's just how I viewed it. Like he should have won the fight. I don't know how you would have reacted hearing that he lost almost every round though. Like that would have been also pretty disheartening and upsetting. Being like, dude, there's no way I lost 1 or 2. If he would have, I don't know which round it was the judge gave him the win on that gave it 49-46. But
it was probably the third round because that's the only round in question, really. Like, it's clear cut on the first two. The third round was close, and then John Jones in 4 and 5.
I don't know, but yeah, I felt super bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
He handled it pretty well though. He seemed like he was ready to do it again, which I would love to see that fight again. I think John might be on a decline. Maybe I'm wrong, but he seems to be like having issues with younger guys. Either those guys are really good and they're on John's level, or John's like not. I don't know. He finished Cormier in like 2 rounds, right?
Yeah.
I think it was in 2. Like that's insane. He finished Cormier in 2 rounds, and he can't finish these people. Like I don't know what his game.
Finished Gus.
Yeah, he finished Gus.
That's
super
huge.
fast. Like I don't know. Maybe there's a new guard coming in that's better than those guys, but it just felt like John wasn't. He was surprised, I think. I mean, he got it. Reyes took it to him for like those first 2 rounds at least. Like John was definitely in some trouble. I thought he was gonna get knocked out, but props to him.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think if you were in a fight that you would like to have, open scoring?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of hard to say, especially only being an amateur fighter. Like we only fight for 3-minute rounds, so. Yeah, I guess 3-minute rounds suck though. Like they're nice that they're short, I guess, but you really can't do that much in 3 minutes if you really think about it. Like
can't get your jiu-jitsu on.
Yeah, it probably takes you about a minute to get someone to the ground, unless you're like just gonna pull guard immediately. Like I don't know. It's having gone to one decision. Maybe it would have helped, but I feel I can in my head figure out what the judges' scorecard should be during the fight. I know some people say they can't. Maybe if it's like longer, you probably don't realize that. But when I had my decision, I knew like I will definitely lost the first round. I think I'm pretty sure I won the second round. I have to win this last one. I guess maybe if they said I lost 2 rounds, then I'd be like, I guess I have to go for broke. But I don't think it hurts anything. Like. If it doesn't hurt anything, then might as well do it, right? Like It doesn't make sense to keep it blind if it's going to influence people to like try and finish fights. So that's the goal. They want fights to be finished, so might as well like get people to try and do that.
Yeah, and then you might have the occasional person who just tries to stick with that lead and just hold on to it whatever they can. Maybe not even being the most exciting or anything like that. That stuff happens in regular fights too without open scoring, so that's whatever. You think that might be able to like transfer over to Nebraska since we're right on top of Kansas basically?
Maybe. I don't know much about the Nebraska Athletic Commission. Obviously I've worked with them through fighting a couple of times and I see them on the regular. I mean they seem like guys who are pretty into MMA and want to like advance and bring more MMA to Nebraska. So I think it would be interesting. The way I view it, like we don't have a ton of like what do you want to call it? Like name brand, like really high name brand events. Like we don't have Bellator and the UFC coming here like all the time. So I think it'd be easier for us to adopt it, which is why I think Kansas is probably doing that because
they probably get it as much as us.
Yeah, they're gonna have other organizations that are gonna come in and be way more apt to try it. I'm sure the UFC is probably like, I don't know, this is different than what we've done for our entire history. But I don't know. I would like to see something different. I think obviously the judging should be changed in general. I don't know how the system should be changed. That's a really good question. But if open scoring helps, I'm all for it. And at least you're not freaking like caught off guard. Yeah. But, like you get to the end of the fight, like Derek Lewis and Alir Latifi. I thought Alir Latifi won that fight pretty handily. Like I don't know. Obviously Derek won the last round. I think he like definitely trying to finish the fight, but I thought he had to finish him to like win that fight, and he won on the judges' scorecard. So. Yeah. I think if it helps, it helps. Like I don't see any damage that's gonna happen from it. Kind of like replay in the NFL. That's kind of like how I feel about it. Like, it takes out human error, but isn't that like not necessarily a bad thing? Like you can go review shit.
No, and at least they know what the score is too. I agree with you with that Derek Lewis Latifi fight. Okay, those flying knees were sweet. But I think takedowns are better.
That was a dumb strategy.
Well, I mean, So all right, you give him a super hard flying knee to the chest. Okay, that might stink or whatever, but like I think he was like 3 or 4 takedowns. I feel like that gets you the fight in a 3-round fight.
He took him down and held him down twice, like for a good amount of time. I don't know. I just was confused on why Derek kept throwing that because every time he just kept getting locked up and taken down, and it just seemed like he was doing more damage, like having range and connecting with punches, and he had such a reach advantage on Ilir. Yeah, I don't know. I think Ilir won that fight. I don't see how Derek won that fight at all, but that happened. I can't remember the name of the guys on the undercard fight, but that one that was like scored completely wrong. It was like the opposite of how you would expect to score. I don't know, man. It seems like they have an issue in Texas, and that just might be who the judges are in Texas. But it worked in the favor of John Jones. It didn't work in the favor of Ilir. I mean, it's kind of like if you're the UFC, you probably are kind of happy John won that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Because you would hate to see him lose his belt on that. But I think he did lose. I don't know.
He's one of their only cash cows.
Yeah, now. I mean, there's not.
Well, I guess Connor's back, but
for now.
And then, so the guy that James Krause fought, Derek Lewis, obviously, like they're all from Houston too.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I would be interested to see if that actually plays a factor in it. I mean, I think James lost that fight. I thought it was close, but I think James actually did lose that fight. So, like, some of the judging I agree with, some of it.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand what people are watching or what they see. It's one of those things where you're kind of like, did I see something completely different than everybody else saw? Because, like, when I got on Facebook after the John Jones fight, I saw a lot of people being like, you're crazy if you think John lost that fight. And I was like, I felt the exact opposite. And, like, I watched it with my brother, and he thought John definitely lost the fight. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe you're seeing something I'm not seeing, but I felt he lost the fight, and there's not much of an argument to make if you're basing it on how you're supposed to score a fight. But I'm all for changing it. I think open scoring. I don't know if it helped in that situation, but it doesn't hurt. That's my view. So if it doesn't hurt, might as well do it.
Yeah. And then I guess another big topic would be like adding more judges. Like that would probably be good.
That's probably good.
I feel like I know that we, like FOD or whatever, and then we run into the athletic commission, and then through commentary, like we like sit like right beside them and all that. I feel like we could just like ask them, be like, hey, do you think that open scoring would be okay? Ask Train, Henry, or whoever. Hey, do you care if we do open scoring? And then just tell the announcer. And then they do it in between every fight. I feel like we could get it done at least like in Dynasty, but I could be totally wrong on that. It seems like you could just ask them and they might be okay with it.
I don't know what the rules are. Like how, like I'm guessing there's legislature they have to pass and be like, we're agreeing this is how the rules are going to be for every event. That would be my guess. I hope it's that way at least, so that people aren't just randomly like, yeah, you can do this, but can't do that. I know the frickin' like ankle tape or what do they call it? Like
Spats?
The ankle supports. Like Muay Thai ankle bands, whatever the hell you call them. Like you're not supposed to wear them, but people wear them sometimes. They don't do anything about it. I don't know. Like it might be one of those things, but I don't see why anybody would have a problem with open scoring. I really don't know why it would be an issue. Maybe it might confuse fans, but like half the fans are drunk and just screaming stupid stuff anyways. So I don't think they're gonna notice.
Yeah, me neither. Man, I think it'd be more exciting for the fans too. Like at least the fans are paying attention.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it would be more exciting for me if I was watching the fight and I was like, oh shit, they have to like knock them out or finish them this round or else they're gonna lose the fight. Or I don't know. I don't know how many times in Nebraska there's 10-8 rounds. I don't think that's a common thing.
Right. Yeah, I feel like there would be a finish before there would be a 10-8 round most of the time.
That's how I view it.
Yeah, but then like a lot of times I feel like we're commentating, doing whatever, and then we'll talk to Derek Meyer after, and then like we might be on 3 separate pages.
Yeah.
On a fight.
Yeah, that's happened before.
Yeah, so that's why I think probably more judges would probably be best. And then if we could do open scoring, I think that would be cool too. Kind of like XFL rules. Or
I mean,
something
it would
like
be cool to be one of the first states that do it. Like, might as well. I don't see why not. And I guess if it influenced the UFC to not come here, then maybe. But I don't know why that would happen.
But I wonder if every like federation or whatever has to do it. You know, like maybe.
Yeah, like if they're like, yeah, we don't want open scoring for this event.
Then you say, okay.
I mean, it's pretty easy to stop. You just don't announce the score. It's not
Yeah.
like you're changing the way it's scored.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would hope that's how it is, that people can decide if they want to do it or not, but we allow it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That sounds good to me. And then we've had a little break in the last month for Dynasty Combat Sports, but we do have 2 fight cards coming up in 2 weeks, including one this Saturday. So do you remember how many events you've done or how long you've been doing commentary?
That's a good question. I don't know the number of events. First time I commentated, I think it's like 2 years now, about that amount of time. Because I started training at Lincoln Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 2017? No, 2016. Yeah. So like September 2016. So then a year. Yeah, it's probably been about 2 years, going on 3.
Nice.
I don't remember the first time I commentated. I honestly don't. I kind of didn't do it like for a while last year.
Mm-hmm.
So like total actual time I've commentated probably like a year. But yeah, I mean, Dynasty's awesome.
Yeah.
And not just because they allow me to commentate and like, you know, do all that fight for them and stuff, but like it really seems like they're a professional brand inside of Nebraska that like is pretty much the driving force behind all of our MMA events here. Like, you know, there's not a lot of places that are regular. There's like, what's it called?
PF or not
no,
LFL?
LFA.
LFA.
No, not LFA.
LFA.
Not LFA. Not LFA.
Victory?
No.
They're done.
MCF.
Legion, yeah.
LCS. Is that what it is? Legion Combat Sports? Like, they have a couple of events, but like, you know, you have Dynasty is constantly having events, and they're like driving people to like, hey, this person won, and then they won again, and then they won again, and now they're going to be like in title contention, or like, you know, it feels like a homegrown like UFC event.
Oh yeah.
And the way they run things, it seems super like it is super professional. You know, they have to deal with a lot of bullshit, unfortunately, but I feel like that's, you know,
that's just dealing with fighters,
amateur fighters in general, like backing out last second or saying they broke their whatever like 2 days before the fight, or
my baby mama did this.
Yeah, your baby mama. I don't know. There's a lot of crappy amateur fighters out there that are doing it for the wrong reasons that unfortunately Dynasty has to deal with, but I think they do a really good job to deliver an event, and especially like having it in the Pinnacle Bank, like that's pretty cool. I know anybody who I talk to that is like, you fought in the Pinnacle Bank? I'm like, yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but I get to other people that it's like, this is like I mean, that's where college basketball is. Like, there's professional like singers and musicians that perform there. Like, it's pretty sweet. And that's where the UFC is gonna be. So, like, yeah, you get to fight in the same like arena that UFC fighters get to fight in. That's, you know, that's pretty sweet. So, yeah, I think it's really healthy for Nebraska MMA to have somebody that's constantly having fights. And then you have like Midwest Fighting Championship, and they only do North Platte events, but you know, there's a pretty big crowd in North Platte.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah,
they're really fun events. There's usually a riot afterwards. They're like freaking people brawling in the crowd, which seems to not happen at Dynasty events. But I always enjoy going back home to watch those events. It's always fun. But yeah, without Dynasty, I don't think there would be a lot of direction in Nebraska MMA. So, like, kudos to Train and Pip and Henry and like, I don't know. I think people take for granted how often they get to, like, you know, you have an opportunity to fight. Like, if you could fight in February, you could fight again in March, you could fight again in April. Like, that doesn't happen everywhere. So I think it's also cool that Nebraska's rules are pretty much like straightforward with pro. Like, I don't know if you've looked at other state rules, but they have to wear like shin guards and there's like no elbows and no knees, and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of boring.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I feel like we just have like regular MMA rules. Like there's nothing.
Yeah, it's just shorter
different.
rounds for the most part.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. Well, we got let's see here real quick.
Keelan Frantroy is going pro, right? That's what's coming up.
That's the word on the street. Although I don't think that he is on the card this weekend anymore.
No.
Unfortunately, no. I don't know the specifics, but that's what Henry told me.
Damn.
Let's see. You got any?
That's what I was most excited about. I was most excited about Keelan going pro.
See any fights on there for this weekend?
I feel so bad for not knowing some of these people.
Well, I mean, we know the big dogs, and then like I'm more excited for this card, like the main event, and other people that I'm more excited for this than Rio Rancho, than UFC Rio Rancho.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's fair. I mean,
what is it? Corey Anderson versus Jan Blachowicz?
Blachowicz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever wins gets smoked by John. Like
You think so? I think Corey Anderson has a good chance against John Jones.
Oh yeah, he probably does.
I'm in the minority on that, I think, but I think Corey Anderson has a good chance. I don't know if John's gonna fight him, but I'm super. I mean, anytime John Kuhneman fights,
Kuhneman.
That guy scares the shit out of me.
Me too.
God, I don't know that many people on here, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's at 192. 192 pounds, making his way down to 185. Going to be such a beast.
What do you fight Gabe at?
I believe 205 or a catch weight at 220.
Right. I think it was 205.
Yeah, it was either 205 or a little bit higher, because Gabe had to lose like 50 pounds for that fight. It might have been 220. I can't remember.
I don't think it was a 220.
I remember like Gabe lost 50 pounds. I don't know. We'll have to check on that.
Small.
Yeah.
I'll ask him after this.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll see Gabe tonight. Hopefully doing comedy. I guess. Let's see here.
But yeah, anytime Kuhneman fights, I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's not the thing about amateur MMA and even some people that are pros. Like, I don't necessarily know who they are, but like I enjoy watching them fight. Like, it could, especially when you're like
live.
You don't have like a name behind you. Like, I don't expect people to know who the hell I am when I fight. Like, if you look at a card, like
unless you bought a ticket
from
me, or
unless you bought a ticket from me, I don't expect you to know who I am. But like, I hope you enjoy what I do, and I see a lot of people have that same like sentiment when they fight. So, I mean, especially seeing new people fight, like. There's been a couple people that you get to see like make their debut, and then I'm like, oh dang, they've been fighting for like 2 years, and I've got to watch them fight for 2 years, and like now they're a lot better than they were.
Mm-hmm.
You see them like go from, like super sloppy to like more technical. And there's also people that have been like, man, I think this is not going to go super well, and then they end up like out like performing super well. So, it's always fun to go. Like, make your own little fanships out of people that perform on the amateur level. It just there's not a ton of people that do it regularly. Like, the names I remember, like, Kuhneman fights all the time.
Yeah.
Keelan Fantroy fights all the time. Like, the Menners fight all the fucking time.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of bummed about Brady, but, he's staying in there being active with, because Brett and Niall Bartling.
Yeah.
And, Lloyd Chase, they're all fighting. I believe they all fight out of Minter Gray. And that they're all mixing it up in there. They got Michael Edelman, the American Hillbilly.
Yeah.
Shout out. But yeah, no, they're putting in work in there. So I mean, and Derek Minter's always ready too. So
yeah, I mean, it's
hope to see Brady soon.
It's super awesome to see like a smaller town like Nebraska City have like a MMA presence. Like, I don't know, you don't really expect that when you're like, where do you go train MMA? And people in Nebraska would probably think like Omaha or Lincoln, but you have like an awesome place to go in Nebraska City. Mm-hmm. It's also cool to cross train with those guys. Just like, get like, you can tell there's different styles like per gym you go to. Like, our gym is known for being a jiu-jitsu school, so
fundamentals.
A lot of it is like try to get your fight to the ground type of stuff. But you have people who have trained at other gyms for a while and then come train with us, and they have better stand-up. So that's not the game plan, but it's super cool. There's people there that you're gonna see constant. If you go to more events, you're gonna know their names.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Minners always stick out. Obviously, Keelan Fantrelay.
Yeah,
Think who else.
scary.
Yeah, scary people that fight all the time and are fun to watch. Nate Morrow. I haven't seen Nate fight for a while.
Yeah.
I think he's going pro. Or is pro. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm fucking all this up. I don't really know.
We have a women's fight. Morgan Waldron versus Damaris Waldner. Hey, that'll be pretty cool. I think it's been a little while since we've had a women's fight.
I think of the last time. I know isn't Megan Weaver fighting?
I think in Nebraska City.
The next card.
And I think that I think that at least from what my girlfriend told me that this is gonna be her first fight.
Yeah.
But she's been doing martial arts all her life. And so
I'm all for it.
100%.
Megan commentated my first fight ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Her and Henry, and I don't know who else, but
sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's super cool. Especially I know Justin just fought again in North. Was it no? I don't know, man. I'm screwing this up again. Like I said, I thought it was in North Platte. I thought it was in North Platte that he fought Keelan. I think.
Dude, I can't keep them all together.
That was a tough fight. I know. It's like it's hard enough for me to watch every UFC event and Bellator event and know who's on there, and then like you throw amateurs on there. I tried to do a breakdown of like amateur card once, and I was like, shit, I don't know hardly anybody on this card, but it's exciting. I mean, it's fun to go watch, especially.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been to a Nebraska City card, and I haven't been to what is this, Syracuse? Is that where they did?
Syracuse is awesome.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
In the 4-H building, in the dirt, just
some Nebraska type shit.
Yeah, you can put your hair down. It's
like Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Coney.
Oh yeah, man, I can't wait for Syracuse, and also this weekend that'll be fun. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to the main event, Micah Petrowski versus Tate Wright. Been getting in some rounds with Tate this camp, and what's crazy is like we would just start sparring, and like no time or anything, just until like one of us quit, and like every time it was me. From being tired.
Yeah.
And then like I guess like I don't know, we were doing like over 10-minute rounds, and like he's got crazy cardio and really good jiu-jitsu, obviously like living at or being with 10th Planet Lincoln. But Micah has finished both of his last two finishes were via like choke or some kind of jiu-jitsu. And then that's definitely something to show for that. And he's been the more active fighter, losing his last fight by decision in Bellator, which is, as legit as you can get besides the UFC.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome.
How many people are sparring with, do you know, like for Tate?
There are usually at least like 3 of us.
Interesting.
Whenever I've been there have been at least 3 of us. I know, like I see Micah at a premiere when there are like 20 dudes. I don't know exactly what they're doing. Probably sparring. Like here, doing pad work there. Yeah, there are a lot of training partners over there, but I know Tate's been getting in that work, and yeah, I know. Shout out to both those guys.
Yeah, I mean,
can't wait.
It should be a good fight. They don't put on Dynasty doesn't put on a main event that isn't entertaining. It doesn't seem like so.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree.
What's the main event is Niles for the next card, right?
Yes. Yep, in Syracuse. I don't have all that info yet because I'm sure something will change in the next week.
It'll 100%
of course,
change.
I'm sure things have changed since yesterday whenever Henry sent me that.
Yeah, for sure. It changes all the time. That's probably one of the most frustrating things about it.
Oh, yeah.
But I've also been a part of making people find another fight, so I understand where they're coming from.
I get it, too. Yeah. Yeah. It's rough. But are there any, or would you consider yourself having some more MMA fights?
Yeah, I want to fight in April.
Ooh, April 11th, Dynasty Combat Sports, Lincoln, Nebraska, Pinnacle Bank.
I was back to training, and then I got super sick the last 2 weeks. I haven't even started working out again. I still have a pretty bad cough that was going on, but yeah, I was getting back into the mix. I've been lifting for 6 months and running a lot. I want to run a 100K around October, So I started running miles and went back to jiu-jitsu, and like I was definitely in a lot better shape than I thought I was going to be in for grappling. But yeah, I mean, you get the itch. I'm not someone that wants to be a pro. Like if I do become a pro, I never thought of it as being like a career. So obviously that kind of sucks to a point where like those guys who are like, I'll do anything to like, be like, this is how I feed my family, blah blah blah. Like fighting people like that is super hard when that's not your end goal.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where I think my life's kind of boring outside of MMA, so like I get the itch every so often to just be like, I just need to do this again, and I want to do it. I would like to do it regularly. It seems like I get injured every single time I fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean I'm down. If it doesn't happen in April, I want it to happen, really soon around April, if we're able to do that. But the last time I fought in Pinnacle Bank, I lost, so I've been trying to get back to get a win there. I don't know against who. I don't know at what weight, but yeah. I mean, I want to fight again. Do you want to fight again?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say yes and like put a date on it and then never reach it. Like as of right now, I'm gonna say probably not. That's probably not, to be honest. Like I'm worried about head injuries and
it's a very real thing to worry about.
Yeah, and like I stay relatively healthy, like training all the time, and so I mean I want to keep that up, and I know I got a shit ton of head injuries during football.
Yeah, same.
And also just probably being drunk, fooling around,
Yeah.
And but every time I do have a few pops in me, I'm like, oh, Henry, sign me up.
Yeah.
One time he signs me up, I'm like, no, I was just kidding, dude, I wasn't serious.
I get where you're coming from. I mean, I definitely think about the head injury thing, and it's something that I usually am like, I don't need to sustain any more head injuries. I've had probably 8 concussions in my life. But then I kind of just put it in the back, and I'm like, fuck it. I really want to do it again type of thing. So, my thing's just anxiety, dude. It just rules my whole fucking life when I fight. It's like all I think about is fighting and what's going to go right, what could go wrong, like what the person's doing that I'm not doing, all that shit. So that's really my biggest thing about fighting is my like headspace that I'm in. Even though it's really healthy, like for me to be fighting, because I'm like super active. I like push myself to limits that I don't think I can get to, just because I'm honestly afraid that I'm gonna lose. So, like it definitely helps me out, but it's fucking horrible for like 8 weeks that I'm just like, fuck. Like I have to fight in a cage in 8 weeks, and then that's like 7 weeks and 6 weeks and 4 weeks, and then you're like, it just consumes my whole being. But fuck it, I'm probably gonna do it again. I really want to do it again. So, and it seems to motivate me. I don't know. I wish I could be one of those people that train just to train, but I'm not. Like, it's really hard for me to do that. I don't know why. Maybe if you compete in jiu-jitsu still, which I think is a good avenue. I think jiu-jitsu is going to be a path like that people can compete in and actually make some money off of in the future. Kind of like how MMA was. There wasn't a ton of people making money, and then like now, even if you're just like, there's pros that we know personally that aren't like on the UFC level, but they make enough money to like support themselves and whatnot. So like that would be cool to do jiu-jitsu enough to support yourself. But yeah, I mean, eventually I'd like to. Like, I don't want to give up on the idea that I could be a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I felt like it's something, like, I've done martial arts for as long as I can remember, and it just feels like something I need to do for myself. So if I don't do it, I'm going to, like, feel like a failure. So it's something that I've always wanted, and I need to, like, remind myself to motivate myself to do that. But, I mean, I've been watching the UFC since, like, 2001.
Me too. I've got all the DVDs over there, like from UFC 1.
Yeah,
like,
my brother
right before UFC Fight Pass.
My brother had all the VHS tapes. And I watched them, and he trained back in like 1999, and like that's when he first started training, and so I watched him doing that since I was like 8 years old. So, it's always something that I've been involved in. I've done jiu-jitsu since I was in 6th grade, so like 2005, and like, albeit not the best jiu-jitsu. It definitely wasn't like the best trainers or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I've been involved in MMA for such a long time that it's just something that is part of me now that I feel like I should, you know, really like seek out some kind of dream or passion with, whether it be fighting or not fighting, which I'd rather not fight and do something else.
Yeah.
Like my talents are aimed at some other goal, but I don't know what that is, whether it be commentating or being an analyst or making jokes about it. But
right.
It's you know, it's a cool thing. It's what I grew up on. It, you know, besides football, which everybody in Nebraska seems to grow up on, like I definitely grew up more in a martial arts based family, and you know, you get time. Football's over after high school for most people, so it's kind of like you got to move on to something else. And so I was ready to take back up martial arts after high school was over.
Right. Yeah, I know. One thing that I wanted to say, like, so you alluded to anxiety, like you have the pre-fight anxiety. Is that's what you're talking about, or do you have like post-fight? Or what about after
fight anxiety? I don't really have, honestly. After it feels great. Like I don't know how you could allude, like if I could compare it to anything in life, but I don't know. If you ever taken like a big test or had something huge that was like consuming your entire like being, whether it be what you're focusing on all the time, like what you're actively like trying to prepare yourself for, and then it's over. Like no matter the outcome, it still is a really good feeling after it's done. But mine's all like anticipation and like the outcomes that could happen. Like, what if I get knocked out in front of all my friends? What if I get like, what if I break my leg in half? You know, like, you know, yeah. What if like all that shit, all like every fight I've had, it all runs through my head like constantly, like clockwork. And then, you know, once it starts, that's when it goes away. But literally up until it starts, that's all I'm thinking about. And I've heard other people talk about that too, and like how they manage it, and like they have to focus on certain things, just like executing and what their game plan is, and blah blah blah. But I've always been an anxious person, so like anything, whether it be tests for college or I don't know, like you name it, dates or fucking, you know, I'm just like thinking in anticipation of it the entire time, and like consume myself thinking about it all the time. Like even jiu-jitsu tournaments, which I thought would be less stressful for me, but they're equally as stressful. Like I'm just like, I don't want to go out there and get freaking tapped in like 15 seconds. Like
chances are that's not gonna happen anyway.
Yeah, chances are all the things I think about aren't gonna happen. But that's all I can think about. So it's just really fucking draining. That's really my only like. That's my only thing about it, and I think it's something I could probably overcome, and I want to try to overcome. But yeah, I've been like anxiety definitely runs in my family, and I can see it hasn't manifested with me super bad. I usually am pretty good at brushing it off, but yeah, man, pre-fight anxiety is fucking horrible for me. Like I would get done training, and then I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go run like 5 or 6 miles, and then I'd get done doing that. I'd be like, I should probably lift, and then I'd be like, I should go to bed, but I'm going to go do one more thing, you know? It's just like that mindset that I'm in it's great, but it's also horrible at the same time. So. Yeah.
Dude, man, like I get like super bad anxiety as well, but I'm pretty good at just saying like, all right, this is what we're doing and we have to do this. It's like, you know, like jumping out of a plane, like going on a fight, do whatever. Like I don't have like the pre-anxiety so much, but like you say like get knocked out in front of all your friends, like, you know, I mean that pretty much happened to me, and so like that does stink. But then I dealt with a really bad post-fight anxiety.
Interesting.
Like, oh man, I wanted to go to the gym deep down. I want to go to the gym so bad, and I would like drive to the gym and like no kidding, I'm not trying to be dramatic or like say like, you know, everybody has anxiety or whatever, but like I would like cry like on my way to the gym, and then I even like cried a few times during sparring. Like I'm in the round, I can't like even hit anybody. Like I don't know, I just had super bad anxiety for like months after. I know like Mike and Mike Aquila and Nick Norris like super helped me through it, but like I was terrified. Like so I wasn't afraid to like. I felt like we were fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the fight or flight was like stuck on fight.
Yeah.
If we were sparring and then like people get mad at me, like I had like me and Luke Hawley, like we like figured it out or whatever. But like we got after it a little bit, and then we talked about it, and like he was like said some things. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're right. Like I don't know. That it's the post-fight anxiety was really bad with me.
I mean, I'm sure getting knocked out probably didn't help with that, you know.
Well, and it ruined a couple months of training because I was there, but I was just like, you know, my teammates weren't putting it on me, but they were like touching me up. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like helpless, and I felt like I was getting smothered.
Yeah.
And I wasn't.
I know what you're talking about. Like when I lost my first fight, and it wasn't by knockout, but it still was like the whole thing with confidence. Like I would go in and feel like I wasn't performing up to my ability, and it felt like I was stuck in like some kind of mode where I couldn't get over the fact that I had lost, especially to somebody that I thought I should have beat, and a lot of people thought I should beat. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean it sucks. It took a while for me to get over that too. So I guess I have had post-fight anxiety. I didn't view it as anxiety though. It was more of like a confidence issue. Like I felt like maybe I'm not good at this, or like maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Like I'm not as good as people like make me out to think I am. And like I've never felt like I was good at martial arts, which is the funny thing. Like every day, that's another thing for me going to training. Like every day, my mindset is like, how bad am I gonna get my ass kicked today? Like I don't think I'm gonna, you know. I don't go in thinking I'm going to beat people or like hurt people, which is never, you know, something a person who's training with their training partner should think. But like it wasn't focused on me getting better. I was kind of just like, how am I not going to get my ass kicked today? Or how bad am I going to get my ass kicked today? And then you start getting like these scared thoughts where you're like, it's going to happen again, or like, I don't know. I imagine getting knocked out is probably like that too. Like what if I get knocked out again, or like somebody's gonna touch me, I'm gonna get knocked out. Like you probably don't feel as invincible. It's like that invincible feeling. Like until you lose, you feel pretty damn untouchable, and then you lose and you're like, fuck, you know.
Well, the thing is, and nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like all your friends and like, you know, even if people, like I don't know, like people, nobody actually cares. Like you're still getting in the ring, you're still at Pinnacle Bank Arena, you know, all that. That's what I had to realize, but I'm like, hold on, they must like so-and-so better than me. And then even like the old lady at the grocery store knows I got knocked out. I'm like, no, you know? And I'm like, but all good.
I remember when I lost, I walked up to like everybody who was supporting me, and like I was apologizing, and like all of them were like shocked that I was apologizing to him, and like in retrospect I really didn't have anything to apologize for.
Yeah, it's a decision.
Well, I mean, even if I got knocked out, you don't really have anything to apologize for. They, as fans, like I feel people aren't there to expect you to win. They're just there to support you. Like they don't want to see you get your ass kicked, but they do realize that's something that could happen. But yeah, I mean, you know, the people who care about you, they don't really give a shit. They just want you to be all right and feel good. And if they had fun, they had fun, which it seems like everybody does. And the majority of what I felt guilty for was just like letting down like something that's bigger than me, like representing a team that lost. Like I don't like to be, you know. I remember like somebody would post like on Facebook how our team did, and it would be like 3-1, and I was like, I know I'm the one on that side. Like I'm the reason that it's not, you know, 4-0 or whatever, and it fucking sucks. It feels bad, but it's not meant to be, you know, the end of the world. It's also, that's kind of how I started coping with it. Like nobody gives a shit, so it's it's good and bad. It's like nobody gives a shit. It's great, but then when you win, you're like nobody gives a shit. Like, you know. Yeah. But I think I'm glad I've never been knocked out in a fight. I've been knocked out in sparring before, which sucks too. But yeah, man. I mean. At the end of the day, it's just not a lot of people are going to remember. So, like, you know, like, I think about all the fights I commentate, and there's really not that many fights I remember, like, where I can be like, yeah, I remember that happening, like, 100%. I'll remember, like, Gabe fighting Jonathan Kuhneman.
Oh, my gosh, dude, nobody will ever forget
that fight was insane. Yeah. So, like, I remember that fight, and there's a couple other fights I remember. Like, I remember a lot of Derek's fights, usually because they're pretty damn entertaining, and, like, he finishes them super quick. But yeah, for the most part, like, fuck, I don't know. If I commentated my own fight, I probably wouldn't have remembered it by now. So I don't. I fought in it, and I don't remember.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
All right, sir. Well, I'm going to have to go try and do some comedy with Gabe. Hopefully they didn't shut it down because of snow. But yeah.
They're pretty rough people.
Pretty rough?
They're pretty
All
rough
right.
people.
We'll see what's up.
Redneck rough.
Yeah. Probably going to catch some crap and get heckled, but
Who cares?
we'll see what's up. All right, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.
I'll have to do it again.
Yeah, for sure.